Hey traders, TG Watkins here. I want to let you guys know that we are seeing bottoming patterns all over the market and things are looking pretty good. I feel like the market is getting fed a little bit of good information here and there, and it's really kind of building up a base, and it's just waiting for the better news or kind of the real news that they're looking for. Maybe obviously something with tariffs or a resolution or a deal has been made with China or something like that. Basically, I think the low is in, and we're starting to hammer some stuff out, and things are starting to appreciate to the upside. Also, one of these things, every single one of these trades that we have on, we are now profitable with. We even have one of them as a short trade. Basically, we're shorting GDX via GDXD. So I'm going to go through this and show you guys what we're doing, the bottoming patterns that I'm seeing, in addition to a couple other names out here that are demonstrating that. So let's get in it. The first thing with the S&P, and really since a lot of tickers follow the market, you're going to be seeing this in a lot of stuff. Obviously, this was not a bottoming pattern. It was a double bottom, but ultimately came right up into resistance. And that was when Trump came out with even more tariffs and the market was not expecting it. So that was an extra move to the downside. But now we are starting to see this. We're starting to actually see higher lows. We're starting to see moves back to the upside. Basically, everything that keeps coming out, the market's handling it and digesting it and doing pretty well. So what we did is since Monday, I know Monday was pretty tough as far as a pullback. We stayed in our positions because basically it's what I was looking for. I thought, I was expecting the market pullback, maybe not that much, but when it turned around on Tuesday, so turnaround Tuesday, I said, yeah, I think that's it. And what we actually did was we put on a broken wing butterfly because I'm targeting, move this up here, I'm targeting about 5,700. We have a lot of room to move on this, but basically as long as price comes back up into this area, that's what I'm looking for as far as the upside move. This should be a pretty big winner if we get it. We put it on for, I think it was like $10 or so, and it could be an 8x move for what we're looking for. So really kind of excited about that. We're already up 50%. Just one day, we're already up 50%. It was 100% this morning, but the market kind of faded off a little bit, but that's totally fine. I'm expecting this to at least work in the next 24 days. So I'm giving it plenty of time to do so. And so I think that's what's happening with the market and the SPX. Along with that, we are in FNGA. You can see I've been marking this thing up like crazy because I love trading it. And we've been making some really good trades. So we originally got in here. We took half off up here, which I think was about 26%. So that was a nice 26% gain. Figured there was going to be a pullback, no sense writing it all out. So we came back down here and now we're back up again. And so yeah, we're back up to about 26% gain on our original entry. And I think we're going to be going higher. I'm again looking for, probably mid 400s on FNGA. I think the whole market is just going to go that area. But you can see here, these are definitely bottoming patterns. In fact, if you look at the Moxie indicator in through here, we've had not only price down here, the Moxie indicator up, we've now had a double bottom, and we've had the Moxie indicator up even more. So the hourly chart is definitely telling me that it wants to go higher and that this is a bottoming pattern and we should expect a move to the upside. And as I said, I think the market is really just kind of getting ready and positioning itself because, maybe the daily chart's not quite ready. So a little bit more chop, a little bit more sideways action. We'll kind of see what happens out there. But I think it's getting hammered out and just kind of probably waiting for some news to come out. If we look at BitX, this is the leverage ETF of Bitcoin. Same thing with some bottoming patterns. You can see here we made lower lows, but notice that the Moxie indicator made higher lows. That is the kind of divergence we're looking for. And then we got our Moxie price trigger in through here, and we actually went long right there. We went long last Thursday, and then this thing's up. So I think I recall about 20%. We're up 20% already on the leverage ETF of Bitcoin. And then Tesla. So Tesla, TSLL had earnings yesterday. Now, obviously, their earnings were not good. Okay, so I know a lot of people are out there and being like, oh my gosh, how can Tesla be up? The earnings were atrocious and all that kind of stuff. I think there are a couple things to keep in mind here. One, it seems as though it's all been baked in. People kind of expect it because you can look at this 1, 2, 3, 4. It couldn't get lower. It could not get lower. So the fact that it handled bad earnings, the market also went up because there was some tariff news. I think Trump said that it was not going to be 145% on China. It was going to not be zero, but it was going to be something less. So that helped. Bessent was out kind of talking about a few things, and then also I think Jerome Powell said, or Trump said that he was not going to fire Powell. So some good things like that, and kind of got the whole market going. So the bad earnings of Tesla might have been a little bit of painted over by the whole market move. That's certainly possible. But also it's all, I think, all factored in. The other thing to really kind of keep in mind with Tesla is it may not just be about car sales. I think there's a lot of this to be thought about with robotics and their Optimus robot. And if we look at this on a higher time frame, a little hard to see here because it's so busy, but if you look at this big yellow line that I have here, that is basically the middle strike, the middle area of all of this stuff. And where did price go? Went right to it. So, if anybody's going to try and short it, they had their opportunity to short Tesla. And right now it's right back into the thick of things. And so it just wouldn't be smart to try and short Tesla. So for as much as the sales were bad and whatever, it was done. It was in support. The bears were already fed and all that kind of stuff. And so, I figured it was going to go up. So we kept our TSL play and all that. That's working. And Reddit, we're in this one again with bottoming patterns. Look at the Moxie indicator here. This is the thing. And if you guys don't have the Moxie indicator out there, then you need to come get it. We have it on sale in the store at Simpler Trading. So go to simplertrading.com/Moxie or just Simpler Trading and go look at our store. Go search for the Moxie indicator. But you can see here we've had divergence, and right there was the big first move up, Moxie price target, and then this is what I call a trampoline move. Price below the 50, Moxie indicator above 0. That's a bottoming pattern. And look at this. We've had a really, really nice move to the upside. So it looks to me like the market is done going down and we're actually trying to recover our way back up. Now, I do know that we have earnings on quite a few names, and so we're going to have to see how they come out. Maybe it's going to be like Tesla. Maybe they have bad earnings and, the market's still like, it's okay. Maybe they're okay with it, because this could be some discounts where everyone is buying just names that are at lower prices. So that's a possibility too. So Reddit was looking pretty good. And let's see, OKLO. Now this one was also very interesting. We've been in this since about $22. But then last night, and I made a video out there if you guys have seen it, but I was talking about a few names that were looking pretty good, Palantir, Hood, whatever those things I had said out there. And then I said, there is risk of having single stocks. And this was the risk I was talking about, because by the time I was making the video, it was all the way down here. And it's because Sam Altman was removed, or he left as a board member so that that OKLO could be free to choose any other AI platform to work with. So that came down. But then by this morning, either the market or maybe the news wasn't that big of a deal, pulled it back up, and now we're profitable. So now we're positive and looking profitable. And again, with the whole bottoming pattern situation, this is why we went in originally. We had price lower, Moxie indicator up. There's the Moxie price trigger. And this extra little dip was really a trampoline move. And it looks like we found some support in through here on the daily chart. And so I'm seeing a lot of these names starting to hammer out their lows and build a base. And at some point, I think we're going to get a nice big pop to the upside. Another one, if we look at SMH or SOXL, again, you can see I've been drawing all over these things. Let me clean this up a little bit so it makes it a little bit easier for us to see. But you're looking through here, and what I've been seeing are bottoming patterns. And it looks very similar to what the SPX does, doesn't the overall market? We're seeing double bottom, higher lows, whatever you want to call it, but double bottom, higher low, Moxie indicator, much higher. And we are actually starting to get back over these hourly 50s, and it looks to me like we're going to be holding it. Even if we chop a little bit, looks to me like we're going to be holding it, as opposed to here where it took one dip into it, bounced, and then failed. So I think this was the pullback, and now we're going to start holding it in through here, and we should start seeing higher prices. A little bit of work on the daily chart. I'm fine with price if it wants to hang out for a few more days, kind of chop around in here. That's okay. Kind of do this, and then we'll see if we can start moving back to the upside with the semiconductors. And then GDX. So gold actually started coming down, and this is something that I posed out there as a question and an idea, I think a couple videos ago. And I said, we're looking at GDX, we're looking at gold, and I said, is this a blow off top? And is the blow off top basically because gold was a flight to safety and it's done its job? If we actually, let me go over to GLD, and you can see that this whole move was basically even right from right there, especially this move was when the market really got into trouble. And so gold became a flight to safety. It very much was. And then if we zoom in even further, this extra little bit right here was kind of the blow off top and last gasp for anything to the upside. And that was happening as the market was bottoming. It was pretty crazy that the Moxie traders and I were looking at this morning, and you could see that as this was going up, the market was literally bottoming. And so we looked at this and said, yeah, I think that's a blow off top. It also has a function to do with the dollar. If you look at the dollar's been going down, so gold goes up. And finally, I think we got a reversal in the dollar today, today. And so I think that's what's doing it there. And if you look at GDX, there is no way that GDX is going to be going up if gold is going down. So we actually shorted GDX via GDXD. So we actually, like right there is where we shorted. Had to hang on to it for a couple days, timing wise. But now you can see we are profitable with it down here. And so now I'm thinking if we can get GDX down to about there, that should most likely be about a 30% gain on GDXD for our position in through there. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of things. Let me show you the dollar real quick. I'm seeing a lot of things that are starting to line up here. So again, if you guys are interested and you're wondering how we do this, come over to simplertrading.com/Moxie. And that is where you can get into my stock trading room, and you can actually see me trade these things live. You can be part of the room. You can see about this, and actually you can be, instead of watching this a day late, you can be right there with us in the chat room and actually figure out how to do these things, because I teach inside of my room. And that's where you guys figure out how to do this, and you're along for the ride because we're having a great time. We were catching the market before the April 9th situation when the market jumped up, a couple hours later after Trump came out and talked about his 90-day pause. Then we shorted the market just before Jerome Powell came out last week, and now we're buying the market again. So we've been navigating this really, really well. But you can see here, we had an extra little dip right here on the dollar, and then for the last, looks like 2 days, we had the dollar moving up. And that's going to be what's putting pressure on gold and precious metals, and therefore GDX. And I have a feeling that we're going to see the dollar at least move up a little bit further. I don't know how far. It's not something I super track, but I do have a feeling that this is probably done going down for now. And I have a feeling it's going to start working its way up a little bit, and that's going to put pressure on gold and GDX. Now silver's actually still up, so I don't exactly know why that was up. I kind of thought silver would go down too, but for whatever reason, maybe it's because it's more of an industrial metal, but whatever reason, I'm really only looking at gold and GDX, and they are doing exactly what I want them to do. So it's pretty nice that that's happening. And so far, yeah, this has just been a killer couple of weeks because we have been making good trades every which way. And we've just been patient with this market, finding the right spots. And now I think the market really is going to start trying to move up in earnestly with strong moves. So hope you guys are having a good time. Looking forward to seeing you inside of the room. Remember, simplertrading.com/Moxie, and we'll see you guys there. Take care. Hey, TG here with Simpler Trading. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like or comment below. Also, make sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so you can stay up to date with my market analysis. Or you can join my free newsletter with the link in the description. Good trading, and I'll see you at the next video.